Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. There is some breaking news and the breaking news is very good news this time. It is that Ahmad Diallo is set to sign his new long-term contract, long-term deal at Manchester United this week. He's going to put pen to paper to a long-term deal at Manchester United. He's committing his future to Ruben Amorim, to Manchester United. He is seen untouchable and as part of the future. Huge, huge, huge news. Huge news because Ahmad could have got in contact with any club and signed a pre-agreement for the summer. He was going on a free in the summer if Manchester United didn't wrap this up. He said on the pre-season tour when we were there, the United Stand was there, he would want to stay in Manchester United forever. However, he was unsure on game time in that moment in time. He didn't say this, but we knew behind the scenes he was unsure on game time and his future under Erik ten Hag was in question. He could have left for barely anything if Erik ten Hag was still in charge and the injuries that he got last season. So it's huge news that we've managed to sign a contract with Ahmad, such a big talent for Manchester United and such a big part of the future, and he didn't slip through our fingers because it would have been a huge embarrassment and it would have been, Man United and Man United fans would have been full of regret if Ahmad did end up leaving Manchester United, because we know he would have gone on and smashed it like he smashed it for Manchester United on the pitch this season. One of the only players this season that can hold his head high, and you know that you've played as a Manchester United player should do. So it's great news that we are signing his contract this week. Got some news in from Fabrizio Romano. He broke this news that Ahmad is putting pen to paper this week on his contract. And he has said that Ahmad Diallo, breaking, understood that Ahmad Diallo signed his new contract at Manchester United this week. Agreement is sealed. All documents have been checked and approved on both the club and player sides. Higher salary, a long-term deal, and Ahmad stays as a key part of the project. Story from December has been confirmed. So Manchester United have been negotiating this deal with Ahmad for quite a long time now. As Romano says, story from December confirmed. We were all very relaxed here at the United Stand that he was going to sign that contract. But there was always something a little bit at the back of your head. Like, for example, with Saka getting injured for Arsenal, you know, Arsenal could have swept in and tried to pick up Ahmad. Like, they could have done that. He could have gone on a free in the summer. You know, a lot of clubs are in a better position than Manchester United right now in terms of in the league, in terms of competing in European competitions. But Ahmad is young. He loves Manchester United. You know, he's always kissing the badge. And thankfully, he's chosen to stay at Manchester United. And I think a huge, huge part of this is Ruben Amorim. When Ruben Amorim came in, he instantly identified Ahmad as one of his key players. He instantly brought Ahmad into the starting 11. He's one of the first names on the team sheet now for Ruben Amorim each week. Under Erik ten Hag, there was a point where he couldn't get on the pitch over Amari Thorson. Now, Amari Thorson has left Manchester United. Where is he now? I think is it Monza, an Italian club? And even that, like, have you heard anything about him? So for Ahmad, under Erik ten Hag, he probably would have ended up going. He might have even gone on a free, potentially, or it would have been a small fee we would have got for him, and that would have been an absolute disaster. So thank God for Ruben Amorim coming in and realising Ahmad's potential. I understand different profiles suit different players, and different profiles and different players suit different managers, and each manager has a different style of play. But there was absolutely no excuse, zero excuse, why Erik ten Hag couldn't see what he had in front of him with Ahmad. And I've spoken about this with Ricky several times before. If Erik ten Hag would have dropped his stubbornness and played Ahmad, who was clearly our most talented forward player, it might have done him a favour in terms of keeping his job. It might have done, obviously we'll never know that. But Erik ten Hag, he was Rashford and Garnacho, then it was Anthony, then it was Thorson, and then it felt like it was Ahmad. And even Ahmad at the start of the season, when Erik ten Hag had to put him in his starting 11 because of how well he was doing in pre-season, and he literally couldn't leave him out because he was proving week in, week out to the fans why he should be playing. As soon as he had a game where he maybe didn't score a goal or had a slight drop-off in performance, out he came. Any big game, out he came. Liverpool, at home, he came out, we got beat 3-0. Spurs, he came out, we got beat 3-0. And I thought the way Erik ten Hag treated him was really, really unfair, I've got to be honest. There was some things Erik ten Hag did that I liked, there was some things I didn't like, but the worst thing that Erik ten Hag did for me in terms of his Manchester United career was the way he treated Ahmad, because he's such a talented player and he deserved more game time. And you think to yourself, if he would have been played earlier, you know, his development or, you know, where he's at now, his level, it could have been, the process could have been sped up. But anyway, here we are now. Ruud van Nistelrooy did play him a bit, but even Ruud started Garnacho and Rashford on the wings, and Ahmad kind of forced his way in. So at least under Ruben Amorim, he's getting the game time he deserves. He's performing well. But at the same time, you cannot get ahead of yourself. He's still young. This is his breakout season. This is his first full season as a Manchester United first teamer. I know last year he was injured for a bit of it, and then when he came back in, he struggled to get game time on the pitch. He obviously I think he got injured in, not last year, the year before's pre-season with Erik ten Hag, and he might have even left Manchester United then if he didn't get injured. So obviously you'd never wish injury on a player, but sometimes things happen for a reason. It's like, thank God he didn't end up going. Because he got injured, he couldn't get, there was no movement in the transfer window. He came back, and in January, I think he was looking for a move under Ten Hag. They convinced him to stay. Maybe promised him a bit of game time. Barely got any game time. Got a bit more, but barely any. Pre-season, did really well. Obviously, Erik ten Hag brought him in at the start of this year, but treated unfairly again. So we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. This is his first year, you know, consistently playing in the first team. But what he's done so far has been incredible. And you just know when you see a player that's got talent. FA Cup last year, comes on, scores the winner. And it wasn't just any old goal. That goal, I'm going to be honest, the pass from Garnacho weren't the best. I know Garnacho was absolutely knackered. He played a lot of football, but the pass weren't the best. Ahmad does extremely well with it, sticks it bottom corner in a high pressure cooker situation. Against the big clubs, he turns up, he scores goals, he plays well over the course of 90 minutes. I mean, this season, he scored against Liverpool, he scored against City. Has he scored against Spurs? He's a big game player. I feel like Ahmad is definitely a big game player. And like I said, 9 goals in his last 12 Premier League starts. And he has recorded 6 goals and 7 assists for Manchester United so far this season. Very, very happy that we've got him signed up. In terms of his wage, I did speak about this literally just about, how long does it go? Like 2 hours ago now on the 2 p.m. show. And I think we said wage-wise, it was rumoured to be around 120 grand a week. I think that would be a fair wage for Ahmad and where he's at this moment in time in terms of this is his breakout season. He's got to reach that consistency, but it's still a massive upgrade compared to what he's on now. I think he's on 28 grand a week now, Ahmad. To go up to 120 grand a week, that gives him a good wage for his age. And I've said it's not about age, it's about what you do on the pitch now. But in considering stepping stones and proving yourself and doing it over a period of time, I think that would be a good jump for him. Kevin Lope says he could only speak to teams outside of England. Yeah, we know that, but there will have been many clubs that were monitoring the Ahmad contract situation 100%. Hero says, still too expensive, I think. I think 80k was reasonable, but let's see. 120k is insane. Put it this way, Joshua Zirkzee is on 105 grand a week. Ahmad deserves more than Joshua Zirkzee. That's just the way it is. Rasmus Højlund's on 85 grand a week. Ahmad, at this current moment in time, deserves more than Rasmus Højlund. So 120 grand a week. If that is the rumoured wage, let's see what it is. If that is correct, I think it's fair for his contributions to this Manchester United team and the fact he's one of the first names on the team sheet week in, week out. If we didn't have him this season, we would be in trouble. We would be in trouble. What other forward player can you guarantee performances from week in, week out? You're struggling. You really are struggling. So Ahmad, he's done himself a favour in terms of the way he's played and in securing that new contract, but I definitely think it deserves it, and I am glad that he's going to put pen to paper. Also, this is only a little short live to kind of give you the update on the Ahmad contract situation. Let me just check if there's any more news come out regarding wage or anything like that. I've not seen anything regarding his wage, but that is the rumour. There is a little bit on Marcus Rashford, though, coming out as well, which I'll quickly give you on this little update. that we're bringing in. So Dortmund and Marcus Rashford seems like that's breaking down already. Said on the 2 p.m. show, you had AC Milan, who are the front runners, but you also had Dortmund, you also had Juventus, and Spurs were looking at the loan as well. Well, it's recently come out from Germany, actually, that Marcus Rashford moving to Dortmund on loan this month is very unlikely. The overall package, loan fee, percentage of wages, etc. is seen as too expensive. AC Milan are now pushing for the deal to be done. So it does seem like AC Milan are the front runners in this Marcus Rashford saga this January in terms of in exiting Manchester United. I said on the 2 p.m, so I don't want to repeat myself too much. They're the club that seems like are making the most news about bringing Marcus Rashford. I think Marcus Rashford would do really well there. Apparently they see him as suiting the project that they've got going on there. They're all big ticks in terms of a club wanting Marcus Rashford and him having a good exit from Manchester United and getting a good package off a club. They can't quite afford to get him on a permanent right now, but they would like to do a loan obligation to buy is the news that's come out. Obligation to buy is always a good thing because you can get the money and you guarantee that money despite how he performs. And I know some people will be like, well, what if he performs really well and the obligation to buy is too low? Yeah, but you also can risk it the other way, is what if he doesn't perform well? They've still got to go and buy him for that fee. So you're guaranteed money, you're guaranteed pure profit. I do think AC Milan at this moment in time does seem like the most likely option for Marcus Rashford. And you probably would rule out Dortmund. However, I remember when Dortmund were saying it was too expensive to get Sancho on loan that January, remember? And then we ended up doing a loan deal with them. So I wouldn't rule it out, but I would say that AC Milan are definitely the front runners. And then also a little bit coming out from Samuel Luckhurst at the MEN, and he has said that Manchester United are not actively targeting Nuno Mendes this month. United are expected to be in the market for a left back in the summer. So that kind of coincides with what I said on the 2 p.m. show as well. I want a left wing back so badly, and I won't even tell you what Goldbridge's replied to that in the chat in terms of not getting a left wing back this January. He'll tell you himself, I'm sure, on the evening show his thoughts on that. Let's put it this way, he's not exactly in agreement with it. We need a left wing back. We need a left wing back desperately, especially if we want to go and win the Europa League. You know, if we want to fulfil the most out of this season and try and turn it around in some sort of way and grasp onto Europe, we need to bring in a left wing back. But I did say on the 2 p.m, if I could say to you now, go and get a stopgap or wait for the perfect player for Ruben Amorim in the summer, like a Nuno Mendes, like, for example, an Ait-Nouri, like a Kirkes, like a Gutierrez, like a player that has been linked to Manchester, a Robinson from Fulham, somebody who you know is going to come in and you feel he's going to do well. And by the way, I don't like all of them picks. There's some that I have preference on. I'm just naming names right now that have been linked to Manchester United. Would you rather wait for the guy that's going to come in and be the starter, that's going to be the future of this project as a left wing back? Or would you rather take a risk and spend some of that money that you've got to spend on a left wing back on one now in January, but they might not be as good long term as a Nuno Mendes or an Anthony Robinson or somebody who you can't get in January basically, you have to wait for the summer for? It's for Manchester United to decide. And if you asked me now, you can bring in a left wing back now, but it's a huge risk. Like it's a massive risk, and you're not going to be able to get one in the summer. You've got to go with this guy, and this is your guy for your long-term project now. Or you don't get one in January, but you will, 100%, you'll sign a Nuno Mendes or an Anthony Robinson in the summer. It's tough. It's tough. But I would probably wait until the summer, which neglects everything that I've said. It contradicts everything I've said because, I mean, I was saying this time last year we had to go and get a left back when Reguilon went back and Luke Shaw was destined to be injured again, let's be honest. I mean, I think he was still injured, but Erik ten Hag got told that him and Malacia were going to be back soon. They never were. I mean, I said we had to get a left back in the summer. I said if we go into this season without a left back, that is incompetence at the highest level, and I stand by that. So for me to say I'd wait until the summer does contradict everything I was saying, but if there's not a viable option available, what can you do? There's only so much money that we have to spend in January. we all know about PSR and all that FFP that Sir Jim Ratcliffe keeps pushing out there. I get it, but also not just FFP, because I've said I don't accept that as an excuse personally. Other clubs do not want to let quality players go in January. They've got their own ambitions. They don't want to let the quality players go in January. Therefore, the fee becomes inflated and therefore it becomes really difficult to do a deal. So I think you just have to wait until the summer, as much as it goes against everything I've said. Because I don't want to be in a situation where we rush and go and get a wing back because we desperately need one, and then you sat there in the summer, they're not really as good as you thought they were going to be. You've wasted your money, and now you can't go and get the guy you actually wanted. Like, I want to make sure everybody we bring in now, they've been fully background checked, you know, everybody's happy with it, and you know they're coming in to be that long-term player for you in that Ruben Amorim system. They're there to do that role. They're going to be starting week in, week out for Ruben Amorim. Obviously, there should be competition for places, but they're going to be that guy. You want to be pretty sure. And don't get me wrong, you can be 100% sure on every player. Some transfers aren't going to go well. That's the name of the game. Even City, even Liverpool get transfers wrong. Like, every club does it. But you want to be getting 80% of them right at least. And we've done the opposite way. We get 80% wrong and 20% hit. And that's a bit me being a bit generous with the ratio. Apparently Fabrizio Romano has given more information on the Ahmad contract. So he's now put out some exclusive news surrounding the Ahmad Diallo contract. He said Ahmad Diallo's new deal at Manchester United will be valid until June 2030. Understand, no extra year option is included. It will be signed by Ahmad on Thursday, so tomorrow. Despite calls from 2 top clubs, even this month, Ahmad only wanted to stay and renew at Manchester United. I've got goosebumps. But no, I told you, other clubs will be looking at this situation. I mean, wouldn't you? If you're seeing a player performing the way that Ahmad has done for Manchester United and you know that he's on a free in the summer, top clubs, of course, are going to be sniffing around and have been interested. And I get it, he could only negotiate with clubs outside of the Premier League, but Fabrizio Romano is saying calls from 2 top clubs even this month. So 2 top clubs have called Ahmad and inquired to try and get him on a free in the summer. But Ahmad had said, no, I want to stay at Manchester United. So what do we know now so far on Ahmad's new deal? We know that it will be valid until 2030 with no extra year added on. Manchester United usually love an extra year option included, so that's interesting. But we're in 2025, it's a 5-year deal, and it will be a significantly higher wage, is that Fabrizio Romano has said, and Manchester United see him as a key part of the project, and he will sign the deal tomorrow. So very, very happy about Ahmad signing that, and I think the only thing left to find out is the wage that Ahmad will be on, but I don't think we'll find that out accurately for quite a long time. Usually that sort of stuff stays disclosed and then it just kind of ends up coming out somewhere. But like I said, I think Manchester United won't be giving out stupid wages, I assume, but he deserves a pay increase and he deserves to be a valued member of this squad. And thank God we didn't lose him, because there was a time where Ahmad, it was very likely he was going to leave Manchester United. And for a player of his quality and of his talent, that would have been a huge, huge, huge loss. So some good news, some very, very, very good news for your midweek breaking news show. Thank you everyone for watching. Love the updates there. Let me check. There was no super chats that I missed. There wasn't. Again, we'll be back if there's any breaking news, but we'll see what happens. This January transfer window is kind of all over the place at the minute. If there's any breaking news, we'll bring it to you. But for now, Goldbridge will be back for the evening show, and thank you everybody for watching.